Oh, hello, folks. It's Ken David Stewart here with another edition of What's Up. And the first thing that's actually up here is my our cat Zoe. Zoe just jumped up into my lap here and has now made her way towards my shoulders. And now it looks like maybe we'll get a picture of her. She doesn't like pictures too much. I'll try and bring her back into the picture. There. Okay, down she goes. Now she's climbing up the chair. Okay, so that's it for Zoe for this video. But that's not what I wanted to talk about anyway. What I want to talk about is why I haven't been writing anything for at least the last, I don't know, 10 days to 2 weeks. And the reason has been that I've had serious eye trouble in my left eye. It started when I started noticing, a substantial increase in floaters in my left eye. Now, I've had floaters before, but never this many. And floaters are like those little black spots that are in front of your eyes, like how women used to wear these kind of fishnet type things over the veils. That's what it looks like. Is you've got a bunch of black flies buzzing around. Now, I should have, taken notice right there and probably phoned my optometrist right there, but I decided to wait, see if anything would clear up, and it didn't. It got worse. I woke up one morning and my left eye was like completely clouded over. I phoned for a doctor's appointment with my optometrist, but I don't know, kind of not too wisely went to work that afternoon anyway, and that's the last time I've been to work since. Now, what happened was the optometrist diagnosed that I had a detached retina. She phoned Misericordia Hospital, and the eye surgeon there also diagnosed that it was a detached retina. And this is a serious medical emergency, so I'm glad that at least when I checked it out on the internet, on the web, that this is not something you should ignore. Because it can cause potential permanent blindness. So I got down to the Misericordia pretty quick, or my wife got me down there. We had an appointment with the eye surgeon who, like I said, made the same diagnosis, that I had a detached retina and that I would need surgery that day. And fortunately, he was able to fit me in the evening. He had a rather long day from consulting with patients and then having to do, I think, 5 surgeries starting in the late afternoon. But anyway, things seemed to go pretty well in the surgery. They just gave me a general anesthetic. But the hardest part was when I came back from the surgery, that I was told that I would have to keep my head down for about 10 days. So that, because what they'd done is apparently they'd inserted a gaseous bubble that was supposed to help put pressure and attach the retina back where it should be. And for it to be in its proper position, my head would have to be down. So what ended up happening there is of course not good news for me. I mean, I'm not the most active guy in the world, but having your head down and looking at your feet in your shoes for 10 days is not a very appealing thought. So, especially a guy like me who likes to read a lot, be on the internet, and take dogs to the dog park, and sub, and do a lot of other things than just stare at your feet. But anyway, that's what I had to do. And my wife, Martha, used some quick thinking and called our daughter-in-law, who's a massage therapist, and asked if we could borrow one of her tables, massage tables, and that way it has kind of a headrest where you can put your head in it when you look down, and you're only allowed like 3 15-minute breaks per day from that. and you're even supposed to sleep in a position that your head is down. So it was very difficult for me, and I'm not exactly built for that type of thing, because I have very short muscles in my tendons in my neck. It's almost like, my shoulders are attached right to the head, and in my back I've got very short tendons and muscles there, and there's hardly any give. So being in that on the stomach position was not comfortable. Not to mention that I have a fairly large gut too, and that made things even worse. But anyway, we got through it. I got through it thanks to a lot of help from my wife, Martha, because she also not only had to drive me to all these appointments, she had to do a lot of things for me, and put eye drops in my eyes, and still does several times per day. So this was not what I would call a pleasant experience, but in some ways it was, believe it or not, because it did bring my Martha and I closer together. And I guess previously we hadn't been spending a lot of time together, and this simply because I couldn't go out and do much, go out and do anything really, gave us a lot of time to talk and to just get to know each other better. And even after 20 years of marriage, you still don't know everything about your spouse. So that was good. I mean, I would have wished for an easier way to bring us closer together than for me to get an eye disorder of some type, but that's the way it turned out. So God used it for good anyway, even though it was meant for evil. And I'm very glad, even though my eyesight is blurry today, I'm very glad that I can see at all out of my right eye. My recovery period is, it could be anywhere from a month to 3 months, which means I'm going to lose a lot of income in that time if it's that long. And plus I miss subbing, so I really miss substitute teaching. But that's pretty well the story with my eye right now. Today was the first day that I didn't have to be in the on your stomach position looking down. So I took the opportunity to review what I'd written. I'd gotten off to a pretty good start in my new novella, The Lake Demon, which is about Ogopogo, the lake monster from Lake Okanagan in BC. And I had to review and catch up what I'd written before, and I decided on WordPress to release the first 11 episodes so my readers could catch up too, as well as myself. And I made a few small changes, editing changes here and there as I went along. So it's a little bit different, but not substantially. It's the same story. I'm trying this time to write a monster story that is not stock, and by stock I mean that it follows a set storyline script, that's very mechanical and that's very drawn out, and it's been repeated, like hundreds of times. And I wanted to write one that had a little more depth than your average monster type movie or book, where all you really need to change is the monster or the beast or whatever, or the insect, whatever the heck the monster is, and just plug in the same type of characters, and there you go. So I did not want to do that, and I did not want to put out something that was stock. So I've changed, even in the beginning, I've changed it around pretty much so that the characters won't be stock, and keep the story hopefully very interesting. So that's kind of what's been going on with me right now, like I say. And I did pray for one person that was there at the hospital who he kind of got a nasty diagnosis. And whenever I hear or see that happening, I feel an immediate need to pray for them. And I did pray for this fellow on the spot for healing. And and my prayers are still with this fellow. And even though I don't have any prayer ministry or anything like that, I have over the phone and that prayed for people who have had some pretty serious illnesses and that, and I always feel inclined to pray for them, because at times you just have to turn to God, and that's what I often do in those circumstances. It's kind of like I get a very strong urge from God to do so. Okay, there's probably more things I could talk about, but I think for now I'll leave it, and that's the end of what's up for today.